Hey guys, so um, I've been watching some cutscenes, if you will, full movies, or at least parts of the full movie, if you will, when it comes to the Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart game, because a lot of people that have PS5 have the game, and it definitely looks interesting. Definitely looks like a game I'd want to play. The only problem is I don't have a PS5, and I'm not alone in that. There's a lot of people that don't have a PS5 right now because of the fact that we're still waiting for a regular, stocking of the game. I mean, recently they've had restocks, happen, at Sony, on Sony's store, if you will, as well as places like Walmart and Best Buy and everything, and they've all sold out, within 25 to 30 minutes, within a half hour. And it's like, really? It's that quick? And, obviously GameStop now, according to Rich of Review Tech USA, is pretty much saying, hey, we can help you out here, but you need to have a membership. You need to have a player's premium membership or something like that. Not the regular player's choice or something like that that expires and you have to renew at a certain time. They're talking they're talking more along the lines of a player membership that's a little bit, I guess, more expensive or something like that. You have to pay basically to get the information of upcoming games or consoles that might be hard to get. And I would and here's the thing. I would I would love to know when they're gonna come out with these, but the only one that's close enough to letting us know for free is Tech Radar. And I don't know, obviously, when the next one will be, but hopefully before this year's out, a lot of us can get our hands on a PS5 or even an Xbox Series X or S. And speaking of the Xbox Series S, I think that's the only one that's really more capable of getting, because it's, not, obviously it's not as powerful, as the X. It's not as powerful as the PS5, in a sense, feature wise, like certain features and everything. So that's why I think it's a lot easier to get. But if I'm Microsoft and I'm Sony, I needed to plan this out a lot better. I needed to plan this out a lot better. I needed to make sure I had everything, set up and ready to go, pandemic or not. I know the pandemic didn't help them, but, when it came to the release dates, and honestly, if I was them, I would have basically said, you know what, we got this pandemic going on. Sales may not do well. We may not be able to get, the necessary components and chips that we need to, get these consoles out as quickly as we can to get them into people's hands. And if I'm Sony and Microsoft, I would have just held off until at least this year and said, look, just come out, just come out, like, let's say the movie studios, and say, hey, look, we got to delay or push back the release of these consoles till next year when everything's a little bit more calmed down, hopefully, so that everybody can get their hands on them, so that we have enough time, enough time and an easier opportunity to to make sure this all gets sorted out and everybody gets a chance to get these consoles and all that when they get released. But yeah, that's what I would have done if I was Microsoft and Sony. I would have planned better, and maybe even pushed back the release of these consoles to at least this year, the summer of this year, so that pretty much you have less restrictions, less worrying. You feel you can pretty much have an idea that the pandemic's going down, so, or at least going to be at its tail end. So you have basically an easier window to operate with. So if I'm Sony and Microsoft, that's what I would have done. But anyway, speaking of Sony and PlayStation 5, as I was saying at the beginning, one of the games that they advertised the most as being a selling point for the game or for the system is Ratchet and Clank. Now I have the Ratchet and Clank movie. I don't know. I don't think I have a Ratchet and Clank game. Not that I know of. Let me see. Do I have any Ratchet and Clank games? Nope. I have Crash Bandicoot, but I don't have Ratchet and Clank. I have Sonic, but no Ratchet and Clank. But I do, like I said, I do have the movie they did. And like I said, one of the things I noticed with the cutscenes that people were splicing together and editing together as a movie, along with some, playthroughs, gameplay, if you will. Some of these cutscenes that they were throwing in there, they would give them the titles of Ratchet has a crush on Rivet, or Rivet has a crush on Ratchet, or Rivet and Ratchet have a crush on each other, and full romance and stuff like that. And it got me thinking, could these people be onto something? Now we know that we know that Ratchet has had love interest in the past. Anybody that's followed the series since the beginning pretty much knows that. Anybody that saw the movie, which again, like I said, I just haven't watched it yet, should know that. But the question is, but obviously the question is, are the people that are putting this all together, are they onto something? Are they onto something about, hey, maybe, if these stories continue, with future games, which it looks like it's being teased for, are they, setting up, a Ratchet and Rivet, romance? Let's say we get an animated series based on this down the line, and with the success of this game, I wouldn't be surprised, or even a comic book by IDW or Dark Horse, whoever, again, Boom Studios. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised. Are they, is this game setting up a possible romance? Because we know, like I said, with the way the game ended, and again, this is part of the cutscenes that are uploaded here onto YouTube and other places. We pretty much know that they have other plans for games to involve these characters. But is this all set up, to a possible romance with the characters? You know, it makes you wonder. It makes you curious about that. And like I said, there's a lot of fans that will hear this and be like, well, wait a minute. What about Ratchet's other love interest that he's had? That's a good question. None of us really knows what this means for them. Some people could probably consider this maybe along the lines of, let's say, what Archie Comics, did with Sonic, and, that basically, making that comic, after 247 go into what was known as a soft reboot, a soft retcon, if you will. People might consider that what Sony's doing right now. With the Ratchet and Clank series, that this basically softly rebooting and retconning the Ratchet and Clank history. Like everything that happened before, yeah, it happened, but now it's insignificant, and this is the direction we're going to go in, and it makes you wonder. It's really interesting, and the way, and I can tell you this just by looking at the cutscenes, I can tell you honestly that they definitely are teasing some kind of attraction, kind of like flirtatious attraction between the two, especially at the end when basically Ratchet is inviting Rivet and Kit to go along with him and Clank and on other adventures, and she's like, well, where are we going? It's like just the way she reacted to that, or just the way she asked that, makes you makes you kind of curious and intrigued. If not, makes you kind of think that they're implying that there might be something more there potentially between the two. But is it? Is that the case? But we'll have to see. We will. We will have to see what they have planned later on, whether it's with a animated spin-off down the line, a comic book spin-off with some newer games. We'll have to see. But right now, it's only up to speculation. I mean, heck, remember when we first saw Rivet, we didn't know what her name was. Heck, when I did an Anime Ghost Profile Confidential on her, I just called her New Lombax Girl. I didn't know what her name was until recently. So, yeah, again, it makes you, it's really curious as to exactly, what they got planned or what they're hinting at or implying and may, kind of build towards. And again, it also makes you wonder if perhaps Rift Apart is kind of, Sony's way of softly rebooting or retconning the Ratchet and Clank series. You know, it makes you wonder. But honestly, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what Sony has in mind down the line, what the creative team behind Ratchet and Clank have planned, for down the line, and just await some kind of announcement if it does happen. But right now, it's all up to fan speculation and fan fics and fan works and whatever, you know. But what do you guys think? What do you think of that? Do you think there is a? You think Sony is, just dropping little hints here and there of something going on between the two, besides maybe a close friendship and acquaintance? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that down below? Comment if you like. Let me know what your thoughts are on the live chat. And yeah, just let me know how you feel about it. And I will talk to y'all later. God bless. Take care. I'm out.